Welcome back to another episode to the Uncharted podcast. Today we have a special guest. His name is Jesse Bailey. I've known you for at least 5 years now.
Right.
Maybe we were a little less acquainted before, more acquainted later as we got more into business. If you're listening to this, you won't get the full experience. I want you to see some video, head over to the YouTube channel and check it out. I guess to start us off, I'm just gonna have you talk a little bit. So tell the people listening of how you met me, why you're here,
Right.
how we even know each other.
So I met you through real estate, which is both of our primary careers, right? You just kind of meet so many different types of people in real estate, and that's like the beauty of it. You know, there's so many different fits for everyone, and you know, you have clients on this side who like to do business with you because of who you are, and
right.
likewise you have clients over here who wouldn't want to do business with you because of who you are. And I mean, that's perfectly fine, you know. That's why we need so many different types of people and diversity in real estate. And it's like I said, it's like the beautiful thing about real estate.
I agree.
Yeah,
100%. It's all the people you meet along the way.
it is, man. It's a
Keep
journey.
building. So why real estate? Why got you into real estate?
Real estate. So I was getting my hair cut by my barber on 6th Ave probably about 6 years ago, you know. And he had brought up this book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yes.
Are you familiar with that?
Actually, a really great podcast too. I listened to all of the series.
Yeah, so if you haven't read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, for everyone listening, I would highly suggest it. But anyway, so that's kind of what launched me into the idea of real estate. You know, it spoke about real estate as a vehicle for financial freedom. And I'm reading it, you know, in my parents' house, in my bedroom, and I'm just like, I want to do real estate. And then same time, you know, it's out into the universe now. I'm a manager at Popeyes on 6th Ave. And so, you know, I come across this individual who's working at a real estate firm, end up hiring him, becoming good friends with him, and he's like, you're better than this here at Popeyes, you know? So I think you should get into real estate. It's the fast track for success. You'll be glamorous, you know, things will take off if you get into real estate. And so I'm like, okay, cool. I end up studying for it, and here I am, you know? It's crazy how things line up and the dominoes fall once you put it out there, this is what I want, you know?
That's crazy, going from, you know, like just the fast food industry to financial freedom in real estate.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, fast food too is like, it's such a foundational skill for communication. You know, I don't think I would be as well, you know, I don't think I'd be able to communicate on the level if I wasn't over the headset, you know?
That's a good point.
So, yeah, drive-through was my specialty, and the goal for me every time was, when this person gets to the window with their chicken wings, thighs, give them some hot sauce, like, I'm gonna make this person smile, you know? That was my goal. And it could be little things. I like your shirt, or what is that in the corner? Like, oh my God, what is this, you know? Just whatever, man. So that was my goal, and I think it elevated.
It's the people skills.
Yeah.
It's the relationship builder inside of you. So regardless of the industry you'll be in, you'll be successful because you're good with people.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You too. I think it's like the number one skill, communication.
And some people get into it because of just the money and they don't do well. Or some people do and they do well financially, but everyone knows them as a jerk.
Right? Yeah, I know. I more recently had like a perspective shift on like money and business, reading a book called The Go-Giver. Have you read that one?
I haven't read that one yet.
That one is awesome
We'll
too.
put it on the reading list.
Put it on, man. You know, it kind of shifted my focus from, you know, how many sales can I crack? You know, I want to do 15, 20 sales to like how many people can I genuinely help and impact and create value for and change their life because of the position I'm in, you know?
Yeah.
So when you look at it like that, it's like completely different. You know, the people you come across are different. The way you interact and provide value is different.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow, way to start the podcast. That's good. I love where this is going. Well, tell us a little maybe about a business, a part of your business, or maybe even a different kind of entrepreneurship venture that went well, that maybe you didn't expect it to go well, but it just blew out and, you know, just went really well. Tell us about maybe a situation like that.
I don't think there really is a huge situation like that. You know, I think what you focus on expands, and for me, I haven't really had like a breakthrough on maybe like a hobby that I was doing, or, you know, something else outside of real estate, you know. So I don't think there is anything too huge that took off.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about maybe a myth about our field, since we're both in real estate? But what's a common real estate agent myth that you hear a lot?
All real estate agents are the same.
Yes.
They're all the same. Another myth, which I mean, so we're not all the same. It's very, very specialized skills and niches for different agents, you know? Another thing is real estate agents are always late. And, you know, I hate to say it, but I've contributed to that probably a few more times than I wanted to. But, you know, life is busy when you work for yourself. You know, we have families and kids and people that we're taking care of and helping. And sometimes we tend to go over a little bit. So those are probably some good common myths right there.
Okay, I'm going to share one too.
Yeah, what do you have?
The other day, someone called me and they were asking me some real estate questions. And they said they want to get into real estate. And anytime someone wants to get into real estate, I get excited because I remember myself getting so excited getting into real estate. And I asked them why they were trying to get into real estate. And they're like, well, you know, we want to save money and this and that. And I felt like the reason they wanted to get into real estate was to bypass the agent, you know.
Right.
So I just flat out said, did you know when you hire a real estate agent, you don't pay a commission to your buyer's agent? And that ended the conversation. Like, oh, great, okay. I didn't want to work with people. I just wanted to save. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So a big myth is like, oh, I'm going to be paying my buyer's agent. Obviously, someone's going to get paid on the listing side, or, you know, that's a different conversation for a different podcast. But
Right.
like just the fact that people want to get into it, and maybe sometimes for the wrong reasons, you know. So keeping us going forward, I want to ask you for those listening, what could you, for those wanting to get into real estate, and I know a few people who got into real estate this year are interested, do you think it's a good time to get into real estate, and maybe recommend something for those who are trying to get into real estate?
Is it a good time to get into real estate? That's kind of a loaded question, and I think this answer is designed for more than just real estate, and like now is always the best time. There is no better time than now. You know, because if you procrastinate on something that you want to do, it'll most likely never get done.
That's right.
You right? So it's like, if you want to get into real estate, here's the website to sign up for the course. Like, dive in.
Yeah.
You know, dive in, because there's no better time than just to do it right now.
That's right.
It's on the top of your mind. You know, or like, you know, sometimes we'll like wonder about how somebody is doing. You know, like, I wonder how my aunt is doing. Oh, you know, I wonder what she's up to, how she's been. Like, why even wonder? Like, why even waste that space in your mind? Like, pick up your phone and call your aunt.
Find out.
Find out right now. Don't wonder. You know, I wonder what real estate is like. Why do you need to wonder?
Yeah.
Just get in there.
That's good.
And find out. Yeah.
That's literally the way.
It has to be, man. It has to be. That's how I got into it.
That's how I got into it.
Right? You just kind of jumped in. Yeah. That's my advice. Just do it. You know?
Don't try the water. Just jump in. You know?
Yeah. Water is gonna be cold.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cold. Just get in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that. Tell me about. I mean, we talked about this a little bit with, you know, what you like about the job. Tell us about the favorite part of your job. What does real estate give you that no other job could give you?
I think the most rewarding thing is seeing smiles on people's faces when you over exceed what they thought. You know, they're like, oh my gosh, I want to buy a house. This is going to be so stressful. And then you come through, line everything up for them, answer all their questions, ask them important questions. And then they begin to realize that, oh my gosh, working with this individual, like, it's going to be easier than I thought. Or, wow, this is easier than I thought, you know?
Yep.
So having the right team into place and asking the right questions, that's huge.
I love that.
Yeah. And I think that's the most rewarding part is just blowing people away when, you know, you perform what you've been trained to do.
Yep.
And what you know. Yeah. Like,
That's
we're
good.
in a good position, right? Like,
Yep.
we're in a position to help people, family, friends. It's a different conversation at the dinner table now that we're real estate agents, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good. I love that.
Thank you.
Tell us about, kind of going off of maybe real estate or not. Tell us it could be a real estate hack or entrepreneurship, businessman hack. Tell us a hack of yours. Like, what's a hack you can share with people?
A hack. A hacky sack hack. For business, I would say like the best hack is exactly that. It's a hack, you know, it's a cut, it's a slash, like no BS, you know, like we were just kind of talking before the podcast about like being straightforward and, you know, 100% with people.
Yep.
It saves you so much time in the long run. Like it's literally a hack, you know, you save yourself that chunk of time or stress or whatever it is by just like telling people what your expectations are and like how to move forward. And like, you know, it sucks sometimes telling people how things are, the state of the market or what they need to do. But I mean, it has to be said. Otherwise, you know, you're just running around the bush and wondering. Yeah.
I had an agent friend yesterday who told me, she has a client. I was shooting her property photos, and she says, my client wants to list at 500. I'm not sure what the house is worth. And I said, well, I think the house is worth less. And I said, if I was to list that house, I would have listed at 460, 470. Mm-hmm. And like, dang, that client's not going to say yes to that one. We'll go with the 5, but prepare them. Just be straightforward. Hey, I think as your professional that you hired, I think your house is worth X amount of money.
Right.
Be expected to, you know, do a price reduction at some point. Now, it could be wrong. You know, markets change all the time. But given the comps in the area, given the competition we're up against, 500 is way over, even in a seller's market. And so that, you know, being straightforward would save a lot of hassle than going back and like, why isn't my house selling? Why didn't you tell me? Mm-hmm. Why didn't you prepare me, right? It gets rid of all those other issues that can come up later.
Right.
Make a bad name for agents.
That's a great example. Actually, that's a great example. Yeah, I was taught to under-promise and then over-deliver, right? That would be another great hack.
Yeah.
You know, set the stage in a way where it's like, okay, when you outperform it, they're like, oh my gosh, that's crazy in business. That's an awesome one, yeah.
So what's one thing you do for your clients that just above and beyond wows them?
I don't know if there's one particular thing. You know, I think, like I was saying, my biggest thing is communication. Mm-hmm. So being available. You know, I was working with a lot of different people, and a few of them are just like, wow, like the level of service and communication is so different from another real estate agent I was working with. And I hate to say it, but, you know, I've taken people's clients from open houses, right? And then they're like, wow, like I just never thought that, you know, a real estate agent was like this.
That's right.
And so, yeah.
I think part of the issue is people are so okay with average. Mm-hmm. You know, even if we're going back to fast food, like, can I take your order? Okay, $5. And it's just so plain. Like, okay, yeah, you're just going through our drive-thru. At the end of the day, the relationship is what matters. Like, I remember those people who, and I go back there just because I enjoy the people.
Right. Yeah.
And so, like, just in real estate in general, in business, and anything people do, and whatever you're doing out there, just that relationship part of it just goes back to people skills, and you know.
Yeah, my mentor tells me all the time, you know, it doesn't matter what you're doing, but make sure that you are the best at what you're doing. I don't care if you sweeping floors. Make sure that you're the best at sweeping floors.
That's right.
And customer service at Popeyes was the same thing, you know? Like, you can hear the smile over the drive-thru.
Yeah, you can.
Right? Yeah, there's like a big difference between service levels when you're at the drive-thru and they're like, what else do you want? You know, at the end, and I'm just like, nothing, you know? And as opposed to, you know, what else can we prepare for you today? You know, what else are you thinking about getting? Would you like to try the cheesecake? I'm sure you got a sweet tooth in there somewhere, right? Like, that's a whole different ball game.
Yep.
Yeah, people can recognize it, for sure.
I think it's just another level of customer service, client service, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. It's those people that go out of their way to just please other people.
Yeah, for sure.
That's great.
Yeah.
What's one thing you're most excited for in 2022?
I have another business kind of launching, so I'm excited for that. Mm-hmm. And I'm really excited for, believe it or not, it sounds mundane and a little boring, but consistency. You know, I think that's a huge part for me personally that I'm missing and have been missing. You know, oftentimes we'll hear about real estate roller coasters where it's like you have transactions, you're closing people, and then you're not. Now you're looking for people and your money is declining. And then you find more people and it's like this roller coaster. Right. It's like I would rather just be on a steady incline, you know? Mm-hmm. And I think consistency has a big part of that.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy. You were like, I wanted to touch base on when you said people are okay with average, you know? And the thing is like, sometimes we're okay with average.
That's right.
And then other people are okay with them being average, and now we're just all average together.
Yeah,
you know?
yep.
It's like you kind of have to force other people around you to break limitations and be
right.
exceptional.
That's right.
So you can be exceptional as well, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Part of that is surrounding yourself with people like-minded.
Yeah, like
That wanna be exceptional.
hold your people to higher standards.
Well, it's just there's people that just always glow.
Yeah.
You know, like when I anytime you walk into the room, like it's just glow.
Ah,
it's
stop
just,
it,
it's
man.
like,
Thank
like
you.
it's
Thank
happiness,
you.
you know.
Thank you so
and
much.
I mean that because
Yeah.
and I just want to go back to that whole average part. It's like, I feel like last few years have made people complacent, and really people just like, oh well, less is required of me, so I'll just do less. And there's like this, so people get complacent and lazy, and obviously we see that in our workforce, but I feel like those people who, instead of just sitting and saying, well, I'll just collect a paycheck and just do what everybody else is doing, but instead going out there and looking for the next entrepreneurship, the next
Right.
idea, the next thing, they're like, well, now I have time to go and work on something I've always wanted to do. Those people are the people that are excelling this year. Because I'm calling this year a year of value.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's a lot of value to give, a lot of value to get back. And those who are really grinding the last couple of years are actually going to see that value in this year, even though we don't know where things are going to go.
Right.
I read a little meme that said, don't celebrate the new year just yet. Wait till June, and then we'll think about it, you know?
That's good.
We just don't know where it's going to go, you know?
Yeah, for sure. We don't. That's why we gotta plan. We gotta plan ahead and figure out where we want it to go. You know, we gotta create the time to do the things that we've always wanted to do.
That's
Whether
right.
that's like being a real estate agent, or you know, getting better at guitar, or hanging out with your kids more. You know,
right.
yeah, create the time. We have the ability to create time.
Since we're not talking about time again, if you're spending a lot of time growing your business here, if you could put all that on hold or have it, just keep running itself, and you could be one other place, like you could be a million different places right now, but you're here, and I appreciate that because we get to share this experience. But where else would you be? Like, where would you go if you could right now? Where would that be?
Do I only get one extra copy of myself, or do I get multiple?
You just get yourself. So
Just myself?
You don't get to leave yourself here and keep working on the business. It's like pretending the world was on hold here, and you didn't have to worry about running the business here.
Okay.
Everything
okay.
was just going just fine.
Yeah.
But you could be with one other place with your family. Maybe you've been there before, and that's a motivational factor. Like you want to go back, or maybe it's a vacation spot, or maybe it's somewhere you've never been, but you're like, man, I've always wanted to do blank. What is that? Because I have one I want to share, and I want you to share yours.
Okay. There's so many places that I want to go. So many things I want to experience. If I could put the business on hold right now and not worry about anything and go somewhere, it'd have to be somewhere tropical, I'm thinking I would really love to go to the Philippines, with my family and show them what that's like and see what it's like for myself. I'm half Filipino. I've never been there. So I think I would want to go to the Philippines.
Okay, second spot. I'm cheating now.
Okay.
Number one, but second spot. What would be after that? What would you do?
What would I do? I'm kind of easy, man. I just like hanging out with the family sometimes and spending time with them. Like my daughter really likes playing Fortnite, and she'll be playing Fortnite and be like, "Me, help me," and I'm like, "All right, cool, let's go."
It's that one excuse that you can actually go game.
Right?
And it's allowed.
I'm hanging out with her. Yeah, for sure. How about you? What's
that.
yours?
Okay, so I also have two. I have two girls.
Yeah.
6 and 4, and something we've always wanted to do and never have done is travel. Not so much abroad, even though that would be amazing. Our 10-year anniversary is coming up, and I want to go to something crazy like Italy. I don't know if that's going to happen. So my wife watching this later on will be like, huh. But what we're going to do this year is we're going to do quite a bit of traveling.
Nice.
So we have a large plan to hit a lot of states this year, and that's going to mean sacrifice for me. It's going to mean I'm going to put some things on hold that I wanted to do this year, and some things that are just going to need to be ran without me. And that's hard for me because for me it's like, if you're hiring me, I'm working with you. And I've realized over the last years that my showing homes is a lot of fun, but it's not the most important thing for me and my clients. Like, hey, I can have a showing agent show a home, but I will be there negotiating the heck out of that deal. If that's what I'm focusing on, I can do that abroad. Not abroad. I can do that in a different state. I can do that on the phone. I can have my laptop. I can have my Wi-Fi set up, and I'm like, okay. So I can still function my business and pay other people to do things. My photography, I don't have that all set up yet. Like, I don't have someone recording us. We're just recording ourselves here and hoping it all works out, setting everything up. And, that's why we had some audio problems on the first podcast. But, that means I'm going to have to say no to a lot of opportunities that I would have missed, business-wise, money-wise. But it means that I'll get to spend that time, that family time, away from the craziness and just focus on just exploring. Getting to see all these places, Yellowstone, Florida maybe if we can make it out that far. But we're driving, taking a little trailer, and we're driving and just spending all the time in that little one room,
That's awesome.
So that's kind of what I want to do.
That's super awesome. You touched on so many different things right there, man. We're talking about delegating time. It's our biggest asset. If we don't need to do it and we can delegate it to someone else who can do it at an 80%, capacity, just like we could, then why not delegate it? Finding an assistant, right?
Yeah, and I've always had a problem with that.
I know, me too. It's tough because we want it done a certain way.
That's right.
If I don't get it done, then it's not going to get done the way I want it to get done. But it's like, I feel like letting that go and then allowing yourself to be other places is like a strength.
That's right. It is.
Yeah.
I did that with my photography this year, and I have a few people editing a few different little pieces here and there, and it's actually given me a lot of time to do other things.
Yeah.
And obviously delegating it to a level where like it still speaks Yarrow quality, or Jesse quality. Like, does it still speak you? And if it does, great. The hard part is going back to that people are so average these days. You're like, okay, I can't. You don't speak this quality, so I can't hire you. That's been hard.
I know. Yeah, it goes back to like holding your people at a higher standard kind of deal. My mentor told me the other day I was like, I want to break into the higher price points in real estate. And he was like, well, your friends and stuff, like, they're at the lower price point, And I was like, man, yeah, you're right. And so I started thinking, like, how can I elevate my friends to purchase multi-million-dollar real estate so that I can help them and then be at the level I want to be at, So I start calling my friends, like, you guys, I would rent the house out, right? I'll rent the house out, reestablish your loan, do this, purchase another house. And, like, let's play real-life Monopoly together,
seriously.
And so that just goes, like, the position you're in, the knowledge that you have. It's like, it's no good if it's just sitting inside.
That's right.
Like, let people know how do you level up, help someone else level up and elevate unselfishly.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Man, that's good. That's a lot of points there too. I feel like when we all, I guess if we can go back to a hack, agents helping agents.
Yeah.
I think there's a big misconception of people like, you're competition because you're an agent. Versus the mindset of the very first day I got into real estate, I was like, I'm gonna break that. Like, that's not okay. Why is every agent competition? Why won't we work together to help? Like, there's enough business out there. It may not feel that way when you're in a market like this, but there is.
Yeah, no,
there's a ton of clients out there, and there's a ton of people looking to get helped, and there's a ton of people that do a bad job. So there's a lot of slack to pick up for other people that aren't doing their job right.
Right.
But when we help each other, and when agents understand this is like it's a family, I feel like everyone does better, elevates it to the next level. Completely agree. Yeah, like a lot of people, real estate agents think, real estate is like bowling. It's, you don't have no teammates. I'm knocking the pins down, but this thing's more like basketball. Let me pass it over to you. You take the shot and we all benefit and score. I just had another agent kind of help me out. She said that one of my past clients is dealing with something. She found out through an online source and was like, I would check on them, and see if you could help them out. She could have easily just picked up the phone and done her spiel. Like, I know she's fire on the sales calls. Like, she could have converted that person, but instead she reached out to me and said, hey, I saw you were on there. You might want to help her. Like, that was huge. That's good.
Huge, yeah. And it's like, it's not even about the other person, the other real estate agent, the other competitors we have. It's like, once you think like that, you're kind of already lost.
Yeah.
It's like, we're in this business to help people.
Yeah.
Like, how can this person be helped the best? If I can't do it, then you should probably do it. Here, take care of this person for me, please.
Oh, that's good.
And it'll come back to you tenfold, but you have to be willing to let go of your ego in that, And I don't think a lot of people can do that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
100% agree. Jesse Roberge, if he is ever watching this, he's the guy who got me into real estate.
Right.
And back in the day of Keller Williams, and I actually met him through Zach Miller, who's a big entrepreneurship guy. But I met Zach through a course online, not online, at UW that I was taking. And I was buying a house, and we went through him, and he knew Jesse, and Jesse, and then this whole web of connected people started, And that's the way Jesse is too, it's just people who are willing to help others. And I was feeding him leads, and he could have easily just sat on that and said, well, great, you just feed. It's like, yo, you could have closed them.
Right.
People who are just want good for other people, the people who are just bless other people just because they just want good for everybody. It's just a whole nother level.
Those are the people you want to be around.
Yeah.
And those are the people you want to strive to be more like too. At least I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I filtered through some people, some negative people, or some people in my life that were like dragging you down, like a weight. And things just get better when you really isolate yourself from the negativity and really surround yourself around people who want to do better, who want to excel, who want to help each other.
Right. I mean, life is like a hot air balloon. There's only so many people who can fit in your basket. Right? Sometimes the negative people have to be tossed out. Maybe not when you're like way up here,
Before you lift off.
Before you go. Yeah, but because if not, then your balloon will only fly so high.
I love that. I've never heard that before.
You got to get the people in there who are willing to blow on the flames and make the fire go bigger so you can fly higher. Those are the people you want in your hot air balloon.
Wow, that's a good. I've never heard that before.
Man, I thought about that. It was on my Facebook too. I made a post like it probably like 3 or 4 years ago, and I saw it recently, and I was like, man, I think that was a pretty decent analogy,
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So I think so, man. It's all who you surround yourself with too.
I love that.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you to share one piece of advice. I mean, that was really good, but you want to share anything else as we conclude this, and maybe someone watching this who may or may not be interested in real estate. Maybe they're just, watching for some stories to connect with and experiences to share with. So anything else you want to share with the viewers?
Sure. I think any advice, this is probably like some pretty global advice. Like I said, whatever you want to do, I would just 10 toes, jump into it right now, boots on the ground, and run for it, because like Buddha said, like the problem is like we think we have time. You think you have the time to wait. You think you have the time to, not say I love you to someone before you leave the house because, you're going to see them again, but maybe you're not, And so the biggest piece of advice is to just do what you need to do. Like, fulfill your heart. Whatever your heart is telling you to do, go for it.
Yeah.
As long as you're not hurting other people and you're impacting and creating value with others, like, you're going to be a beacon of light to people who are like, I want to do that too. And he's like doing it,
Yeah.
Like, do that. That's what I think. Just go for it. Because I would hate to be the real estate agent sitting at home on Saturday to get a knock on the door with an agent handing me an open house flyer and saying, hey, I'm inviting you to my open house. Why don't you come on out? Who's actively looking to help people. I would hate to be that person, and I'm like, I'm a real estate agent. This is like, I want to be that person to hand flyers out and help people.
That's right.
So I would just dive in,
That's
uncharted. Good. Right?
Yep.
It's uncharted. So go chart that, see what it's like. Don't wonder.
I love it. We're going to conclude with that because I feel like that's the perfect way to conclude it.
Sweet.
Thanks for coming on. Thanks for spending your time here with me.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Sharing your experience with other people. Hopefully this motivates you. If you've been thinking about real estate, get together with us, have some coffee. We'd love to share our experiences.
We're in there. I went on like a field trip or something. And for some reason, rapping came up, and they were like, you rap? And I was like, yeah, I rap, And they were like, can we hear something? Like this whole big group of people, And so I just spilled like a quick 16, and at the end, everybody's like, yeah, that's so good. Like, it's just like, a real fun moment to be a part of, Like
in the moment.
Other servers will walk past, and they would hear it, and they'll be like, oh, okay. And the kids are just like, ooh, in the seat, eating their spaghetti. It was fun, man.